I had a couple of categories I wanted to run by you and by the fans of who we should give for like the best of this year, right? The best male superstar, or best male wrestler, best female wrestler, best team, best new star. That's what I want to throw out there. So let's start, Book, though, with the best male wrestler is where I think that we should start. And when you look at 2021, and Chad, I want y'all to super chat in who you think the best male wrestler is of 2021. But when you look at it, Book, what are the names that come up to you? Because there are two guys that I'm having a real hard time picking between as far as who I think is the best male superstar of the year or best male wrestler. The two that I have, if you want to know, Roman Reigns, I think is an obvious pick for best of 2021, and Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson main evented WrestleMania and then has gone on to be really the best wrestler in AEW and one of the best wrestlers in the world. So those are the two that I have it down to. But who do you think the male wrestler of the year was?
I mean, we're just going on pure, wrestling. Of course, there's a lot of guys out there that I haven't seen. Okay, let's just say that. I know it's a lot of guys, from Japan that's going to be wondering, where am I at in this conversation? Because a lot of times, you got certain people, go around giving 5-star matches, and it may not be the flavor that I really like. You know what I mean? So it may not be a 5-star match as far as I'm concerned. But the guy that we have been watching on American television, let's just start right there.
Yeah, we'll do American TV.
Okay, the guys that we've been watching on American TV. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've said Roman is the best in the business right now. His work has been impeccable for the last year and a half, 2 years. Okay, and I've said everybody that Roman has gotten in the ring with, Roman has made that person a better wrestler. At the end of the day, a better performer, a better sports entertainer, however you want to look at it. He's made those guys better every single time. But when we're talking about wrestling, I don't think anybody's, we can argue Kenny Omega being, really, really good, technically sound, a guy that can really go out there and, go one-on-one with anybody in the business. We can say that as well. Just say, for instance, a guy like Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, he has all the tools to go out there and be one of the great wrestlers, but I don't think that's where his head is right now. He's a performer, entertainer. But as far as wrestling go, Daniel Bryan has taken the moniker wrestling very, very serious. And he wants to go out and, perform in the ring and have great matches. Now, you remember I just said it just last week. I was trending on Twitter about it. Guys, leaving and wanting to have matches. Guys, yeah. Now I said everybody fall into that banner, but Daniel Bryan doesn't. Okay, and I say that because Daniel Bryan has made a boatload of money, and now it's about, man, let me go out here and see how good I am. Let me see how good I am still after a broken neck, and people writing me off. Let me go out and have some of my best wrestling matches ever now. And what he's been doing has been pretty extraordinary, I must say, because he's been thinking about going out and, bringing that thin line that I talk about so close to that television screen. And that's, MMA, boxing, wrestling, combat sport, making every little bitty thing mean something, taking that motor apart and then putting it back together with every piece, opposed to leaving little pieces out what the fans don't understand, or I'm going to make you understand why this happened. There's a lot of that going on. And for me personally, I teach my wrestlers, you want to go out there and suspend that imagination of that fan for that 15, 20 minutes, an hour, that you're out there. You want to make them believe that what you're doing is different than everybody else on the roster. And Brian Danielson, excuse me, has definitely given that illusion. So yeah, if I say it all the time. If everybody on the roster thought that way, man, I would have an easy night. I would have a stressless night promoting the show if everybody went out and thought that way. Seriously.
Yeah, Brian Danielson makes you forget that it's a show. You know what I mean? Like when I watch him in the ring, everything he does looks like it's real, like he's actually hitting this guy, like he's actually going through these pains. His selling's great. He lays everything in. It's tight. It's right. His timing, his footwork. I mean, every those little boxes that we talk about that you want to check. He's been doing it for me even earlier this year when he's still in WWE, but he almost goes to AEW wanting to prove no matter where I go, I'm the best wrestler on the planet.
Yeah, I tell you, we had our last show, and two of my guys. I don't know if they was watching a Brian Danielson match or what, but Brian Keith, fastest kicks in the South, versus the mysterious Q. They went out and they had a match, and it was, I guess it was. Somewhat Japanese strong style. Okay. And as they were doing it, I thought I was going to get so ticked off. I thought, wait a minute, where the hell are we going here? And by the end of it, I was sold, man. I had bought all the way in because they was doing everything that I tell them to do. I said, man, you got to man up. It's a man's sport, man. You can't lay down for that, man. You can't sell that. You know what I mean? And they wasn't selling nothing. It was like, I told them, I said, man, have you ever seen Nogueira fighting when he got his arm broke? You know, I say, just looked at it. He didn't even say, ow. And that's the way these guys were performing. And I say, man, if all my guys could think like that, and hopefully my guys were watching that, Daniel Bryan, those matches as far as trying to make everything connect. That's what I need from every person on the roster perspective, because therefore we know what our jobs are. Our jobs are. It's not about us. Of course, if I get the win, that's even better. You know what I mean? But it's about going out there and performing at a very high level and give the fans something so different. Because it's about doing the same exact thing everybody else is doing on the show. You got to be able to do it a little bit different, and it's not going to be the moves. It's not going to be the moves. Every move is taken, So I mean, think about it. But he's the guy as far as I'm concerned.
And the fact that he has had two of the best matches on television in AEW history, and they've both been draws, right? I mean, him going out there with Kenny Omega, it was a draw, time limit draw. He did a time limit draw with Hangman Adam Page for the title. They're going to do a rematch this week, Wednesday on TBS. But the fact that he can pull off a draw and we not be upset about it, you know what I mean? Like, it's great.
You know what though? I think that's what I really believe. Like WCW back in the day, we were a wrestling company. We could not rely on the storylines and go out there and win. Of course, when the NWO came along, it became a running storyline. It became nothing else. But before that, we were just a wrestling company. That's why you saw guys like, Eddie Guerrero, guys like Dean Malenko and Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit. That's why you saw those guys get over. Those guys got over, and they made their names off of going out in the middle of the ring and wrestling at the highest levels, because those guys were well schooled. They had been all over the world performing, and then here in America, they were just displaying it. I swear to God, I jumped for joy when all of them left WCW.
You're like, there's room at the top.
You know what I'm saying? I say, man, good riddance. The radicals, whatever you want to call yourself, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? A spot just open. No, 4 spots just open. And
I'm gonna take every one of them.
all of them. You're the Hall of Fame, guys.
Oh man.
Stick around. You're the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.